Well, it all began with serving one homeless lady on the street, and I had no idea the concept of homelessness. And so I asked around, and St. Mary's Father O'Connor said he has a homeless shelter. He has a house, and he gave it to us. And so we set up a woman's shelter. And then a man had a house on another house down there, and he gave it to us to set up a men's shelter. So we were running a women's shelter and a men's shelter. And they were telling me about who's out on the street. So we'd go out on the street, and that just grew. The first day, I think we did about 9 lunches. And then I remember one day it got up to 60. And, you know.
I think she started it to help others around her, help the community, and just give back to others. Her biggest thing was love everyone and meet everybody where they're at.
She always made everything very fun, very homey. She was a very welcoming person. We always had people popping in and out of the house, whether it was her friends, our friends, people over for dinner. We were allowed to have anybody over for dinner. I had a friend of mine growing up in grade school and high school. She was from Africa, and her family didn't celebrate a lot of the holidays that we do. So she just would come over and celebrate with our family. And sometimes she would bring a couple of her cousins or siblings along with her. And that was just always fine with my mom. Her saying was the more the merrier. Crowded home's a happy home. So
I'd describe her as somebody who loved generously. There was always room for one more. Can this friend come over, or can this friend spend the night? Absolutely. What's one more? She was very comfortable in crowds and in crowded situation. Growing up, she would just say over and over and over again, a crowded home is a happy home. And how she'd go back and say how State Street, that great street. There were 16 children, mom and dad living in a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house, and they were happy.
Passion. That is something that no one could deny, that Sally Lay had passion for what she did. Passion for the clients that they served, passion to do it in the right way.
The fact that she sacrificed so much of her own free time, well before the days of being paid to do it. Saturdays, early mornings, evenings, cold weather, dangerous neighborhoods, going into these places where the help was needed. Again, all hours of the day, all weather, so it was a good example. It was very impressive to watch.
She always told us to get out of self. Selflessness was the biggest, one of the most important things to her. And that's part of the reason why the Franciscan Center has been so successful, is because she got out of herself and went out and served the most needy in her community. She took Matthew 25, I was hungry and you gave me food, I was naked, you gave me clothing, I was homeless and you gave me shelter, I was in prison and you visited me, I was sick and you gave me medicine. She took all of that very, very literally, and she did it because it needed to be done. She didn't do any of that for any type of accolade.
Her joy and her humor were tied together, and there was, in no situation would she not laugh. If I fell or failed, or if she did the same thing, there was always some humorous reaction on her part, and it just spread. So I think her biggest contribution to me was her faith in God made me a stronger person. Honestly, it did. And her humor made my life joyful every moment I was with her.
She wasn't of this world. She didn't need the jewelry and the real estate and the car. She just needed, God and us, and she was content.
She was still so full of life. She's still so Sally. All you got to do, in a way, she's almost her own definition. Oh, that person's like Sally Lay. Like, people know what you're talking about.
And so her contribution of planting that seed of giving, and we can physically see what it has grown into. So it was one person, 30 plus years ago, and we can fast forward to today and see what one act of kindness has bloomed into.
She taught other people how to serve. She always said that this ministry is not just about, the people who need the food, who need the clothing, who need, the assistance. It's just as much about them and for them as it is about us, those who are giving. It gives people an opportunity and a resource to give and to volunteer and to donate.
They're really combined here at the Franciscan Center. It's those with the means helping those without the means. And they're getting to experience what it is to provide the love of Christ. But also those then who need it are getting it. So they are kind of like the conduit, if you want to say, for those with to those without. They make it all happen.
Seeing these people, a lot of them put all their trust in God. They found us and we found them, and we kind of just build up a new life for them and make things better for them.
One night, God called Sally to go out and find a homeless person she found and fed her. And from then on, she's fed thousands of people. And God said, go feed my sheep. And she did that for several years. As God bless you, Sally.